Hi, so this is a video, more like a companion video to go with the PDF that you can get off my teaching page titled Drop2 or Voice Leading Drop2 7th Chords. So what we're going to talk about today are a couple of things. So the main thing is how to voice lead. So sort of the basic rule with that is that you have between the chord that you're on and then the upcoming chord, you want to find a common tone, or common tones if you're lucky, and then move the other voices stepwise with as little motion as possible. So for example, if we're taking the first chord that's on that sheet, the C major 7 with the root in the bass, so you have root, 5th, 7th, and 3rd, so you have your root in the bass, C major 7, and we're going to go to the 4 chord because we're going to go with the cycle of 4s, which will go 1, 4, 7, 3, 6, 2, 5, and then back to 1 again. So of course, in order to do this, you're going to need to know your diatonic chord qualities for the key. So I'll just rattle them off, but you should know them. So the 1 is we're dealing with a major key, so it'll be 1 major 7, 2 minor 7, 3 minor 7, 4 major 7, 5 dominant 7, 6 minor 7, and 7 minor 7 flat 5, and then you're back to the 1 again. So the cycle of fourths will go, in this case, in the key of C major, the 1 chord, C major 7, the 2 chord, F major 7, the 7 chord, B minor 7 flat 5, and the 3 chord, E minor 7, and then it'll go to the 6 chord, which would be A minor 7, and then the 2 chord, D minor 7, and then the 5 chord, G 7, and then the 1 chord, which is C major 7. So what's happening here, and I'll just run through the cycle real quick for you and then talk about how I'm getting there, okay? So here's your 1 chord, C major 7, F major 7, B minor 7 flat 5, E minor 7, A minor 7, D minor 7, G 7, and then you're back to C major 7 with a 5th in the bass. So basically, to get from that C major 7 to that C major 7, using that cycle of fourths, I'm voice leading. So I'm looking at, with the 1 chord here, I'm thinking, well, now I have to go to an F major 7, so what are the notes that they have in common? So in this case, the root of C is also the 5th of F major 7, so that would be the 5, that can stay. And then G is not in the F major chord, and then B is also not in the F major chord. But E is, so E is actually the major 7th of F, so what we would do, we would know that we would keep the outer 2 notes, the C and the E, and then we would move the other 2 notes, the G and the B, to their closest chord tones in the F major chord, which in this case would be G would move down to F, B would move down to A, so then we get the F major 7 with the 5th in the bass. And then I would follow that process for every single chord. So here I am on F major 7, now I want to go to B minor 7 flat 5, so I would do the same exact process. I would think, okay, well, does that belong in B minor 7 flat 5? No. That would be a flat 2, so that's not in the chord. F, is that in B minor 7 flat 5? Yes. That would be the flat 5 of B minor 7 flat 5. And then A is also in the chord, that would be a flat 7. And then E would be the 4th or the 11th, so that's not in the chord. So what we would do is we'd want to keep these 2 notes in the chord, the middle 2, and take the outer note, C, which would be the closest, would be B, that would want to move to, as opposed to, which would be the root of the chord we're going to, as opposed to the flat 3rd, which would be right here. So then we would move this one down, so we have root, flat 5, and then flat 7, and then this E note would then move down to the D, which is the flat 3rd of B minor 7, flat 5. And so there's the example. We'd have 1 chord, 4 chord, 7 chord, and same process here. The common tones for B minor 7 flat 5 and E minor 7, which is the chord we're going to next, would be B, and then also D. So in this case, they're the outer 2 as well. So we would move these 2 downward. So then we get the E minor 7 with the 5th in the bass. And we think, are there common tones between E minor 7 and A minor 7, which is the chord we're going to? Well, yes, there are. So this one right here, the E would become the 5th of A minor 7. The G on the B string would become the flat 7. So we know that the middle two are staying the same, so the B would then move down to A, and the D would then move down to C, the flat third of A minor. So we would end up going from this E minor 7 to this A minor 7. And then same deal, from A minor 7 to D minor 7. Common tone here, and common tone on the outer string. So we have A, which becomes the fifth of D minor 7, and C, which becomes the flat 7 of D minor 7. And then these two would move down. So we have the sixth chord, A minor 7, with the root in the bass, and going to the D minor 7 chord, the 2 chord, with the fifth in the bass. And then D minor 7, moving to G7. Thing we need to look for there are common tones again. So we have A is not going to be a common tone of G7 because that would be the second degree. D, however, is the fifth of G7. F is the flat 7 of G7, and then C would be the fourth, so that would have to move as well. So we would keep these middle two. The A would move down a whole step to the root. So now we have root, fifth, flat 7 of G, and that C note would then move to a B note. So we have a G dominant 7 with a root in the bass. And then the same thing for the C major 7. Common tone here. The G now becomes the fifth of C major 7. The D here on the G string would be the second of C, so we're not going to keep that. And the F on the B string would be the fourth of C major 7, so we won't keep that either. But we will keep the B on the high E string. So what we would do is move these two voices down and keep the outer two. So we have G7 with the root in the bass, moving to the C major 7 with the fifth in the bass. All right? So that's how I get from this C major 7, 1 chord, F major 7, the 4 chord, E minor 7 flat 5, the 7 chord, E minor 7, the 3 chord, A minor 7, the 6 chord, D minor 7, the 2 chord, G7, the 5 chord, and then C major 7 again. And then, of course, that would continue down too. So you could go C major 7, F major 7, B minor 7, flat 5, to E minor 7, A minor 7, D minor 7, G7. We'd have to switch the string set because we run out of room on those, on the top 4 strings. So on the sheet, on the PDF, it just goes through that cycle. And then I also, because when you're starting on either the root, with the root in the bass or with the fifth in the bass, you will always have those voicings. So then I start on the sheet. I believe I start on the third with the third in the bass, which would be up here, just in the interest of keeping on that string set. So here for C major 7, we have the third, seventh, and then the first, and then the fifth. I like this voicing a lot just because it has that minor second in there. And then, so we have C major 7, and we're going to then go to this F major 7, using the same steps that we used before. So we have a common tone, E, and the bass of C is also the major 7th of F, and then the fifth of F is located on the B string here in the C major 7 voicing. So we will move these notes down, and we get F major 7 with the root, with the 7th in the bass. So C major 7, F major 7, B minor 7 flat 5, E minor 7, A minor 7, D minor 7, G7, C major 7 with the 7th in the bass, right? And then you can continue down. F major 7, B minor 7 flat 5, E minor 7, E minor 7, D minor 7, G7, and C major 7 again. And I believe that's where I ended on the sheet, or the PDF rather. So the thing that isn't written on the PDF is that you would want to then take it onto the other 2 sets of 4 adjacent strings. So in this case, the next set would be the A, D, G, B string set. So you could start here. Now the actual inversions will all, or the chords will all be the same, the shapes will look different because of the way we tune the guitar. So this C major 7 will then look like this, right? Because I string transference thing that Ted Green talks about, where you would then take that middle voice and move it down a fret to equal the same shape. But you can look back on that video to that's what is it? That's the video I think I did called I think it was just a triad inversions video 1, or maybe it was on video 2. But either way, so this would be the string set for the C major 7 on this string one, the shape for this. So we go here, C major 7, F major 7, D minor 7 flat 5, right, to the E minor 7, A minor 7, D minor 7, G7, C major 7 with the 5th in the bass. Same process, F major 7, B minor 7 flat 5, E minor 7, A minor 7, D minor 7, G7, C major 7. And then starting with the 7th in the bass, C major 7, F major 7, B minor 7 flat 5, E minor 7, A minor 7, D minor 7, G7, C major 7 with the 3rd in the bass. And then of course the next string set. This would be the highest comfortable one to reach. C major 7 with the 5th in the bass, F major 7, B minor 7 flat 5, E minor 7, then we have A minor 7, D minor 7, G7, C major 7, and then we'll go through the process again, E minor 7 flat 5, and then starting from the 3rd in the bass, C major 7, and then we have F major 7, D minor 7 flat 5, right, and then E minor 7 rather, A minor 7, D minor 7, G7, C major 7, and then C major 7, F major 7, B minor 7 flat 5, and E minor 7, A minor 7. See how this is all working out? It's pretty logical once you get going. This is the D minor 7, G7, and then we run out of room for the E minor, for the C major 7 with the E in the bass. So we'd have to go back up to this one. So hopefully that helps. Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hopefully I will continue to put more lessons up. So feel free to contact me if you have any questions. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.